Scott Morrison and his wife have just arrived in Washington. She is emerging from the plane now and walking down those steps with the red carpet laid out. The full pageantry is well and truly underway, and he'll be greeted by Joe Hockey very soon. Now, just behind him, Laura J is my co-host. I'll bring Laura back in. Let's talk about the relationship, Laura, between Scott Morrison and Donald Trump. I mean, it's hard to say. Well, we probably haven't had as good a relationship between a Prime Minister and the US President, I would say, between John Howard and George W. Bush.
No, and they see things in each other that they really like. I mean, Donald Trump sees Scott Morrison win at the last election as one like his own. It was unexpected. The polls didn't predict it, and it was a come-from-behind win. So Donald Trump likes the underdog status that Scott Morrison did once enjoy as well. Also to note that Jenny Morrison and Melania have actually met on the sidelines of one of those international summits more recently, so they don't come here. Well, Jenny Morrison doesn't come here to Washington as a complete stranger to Melania, which is always a good thing. In terms of the personal relationship between Donald Trump and Scott Morrison, well, we know how important those personal relationships are, particularly to Donald Trump, and that has been one of the hallmarks of his presidency. Now, we often talk about Gulf diplomacy in a bit of a joking way, but it's so important, as I think Paul Murray discovered during the week as well. I'm not sure how good Scott Morrison's golfing skills are, but there's plenty of other things that the two leaders will be able to talk about. Cam talking about China being the elephant in the room. It is a very big elephant, and it will be remaining in the corner of almost every room of every meeting that is being had in Washington over the next couple of days. There's a lot of talk around China. The word China probably not going to be uttered that much, but certainly what will be discussed is issues that affect or are affected by China. So how that is dealt with, I think, I'm 100% on board with Cam's comments just before about wanting to have China, the US, engage more in the Pacific to counter China's rise. Now, you remember the Obama administration and the pivot to Asia. Well, it wasn't so much of a pivot in the end, and it's really up to Donald Trump where that goes from now. He's got 2 years to the next election, and you have to think, as we do count down to 2020, things do become a little bit more parochial. He's focused on events here rather than abroad, and we know that Donald Trump hasn't really wanted to get involved in other people's issues, but the ongoing US trade war is particularly important. But let's get on to more positive things right now. It's all pomp and ceremony, the Guard of Honour, Scott Morrison being welcomed here at the Andrews Air Base.
I think the national anthem might be being played at the moment. Laura, let's listen in.
Absolutely.